Welcome back. Tonight, we're continuing our coverage of Severe Weather Awareness Week.
Last night, we sat down with emergency management officials and a disaster restoration expert to discuss what you should do if your home is damaged by severe weather. Take a look.
Let's start with basically step one, if we can. So, step one, tree branch or something, unfortunately, goes through the roof of somebody's home or damages their property in that way. As long as they're safe, obviously step one would probably be, call 911 if there was a really, really big issue. But where does somebody go from there? Because it's not something you want to have to think about in that moment when you're going, wow, this is now just completely damaged my home.
Yeah, you're right, Ahmed. So once we can verify that everyone's safe and it's no longer an immediate threat to anyone's safety, you can take photos of the damage, and I would contact your insurance company and make sure that they know about it, and then you call a company like ServPro to come out and help assess the damage, and we can work with your insurance company and you to kind of create a battle plan on how to effectively deal with that quickly.
All right, when a severe weather event is in the forecast and you guys are getting ready to initiate your plan, what are some of the other ways that you make sure Oakland County is ready? I know we have the notification system, we have the sirens for that actual moment. What else are you doing to make sure that the entire area, it's a large area you cover?
It is a large area. We're in communication with all of our local, we have an emergency management contact with every community in the county. We're in regular communication with them. We're in communication with the National Weather Service. We're on social media, putting out updates and information there, taking calls, trying to reassure people when needed, just making sure that those first responders in particular have the information that they might need when things happen.
And joining us now is Rich Pollman, Warning Coordination Meteorologist for the National Weather Service in White Lake. Thanks again for joining us here tonight, Rich.
Oh, happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, you and I have had convos like this quite a few times over the past decade, but it's Severe Weather Awareness Week, and the big thing that always goes along with it, obviously, is we get into these severe weather situations throughout the year, and they could really happen anytime going throughout the year.
Yeah, all you need is the conditions to come together just the right way, and we have seen severe weather in the winter months. Much more rare. Obviously, we don't get the warm, humid air mass, the instability that creates our thunderstorms. So, yeah, it can happen any time of the year, but there's definitely a peak from May through about early September.
We've heard so much about global warming over the years and the effects it can have on weather, whether it's on the West Coast, whether it's here in Michigan. How have you seen things change over the years, if any, with global warming?
So with severe thunderstorms and tornadoes, it's a little harder because those storms are so localized. There is ongoing research certainly about that. But the one thing that we can see the fingerprints of climate change and global warming is with our heavy rain events. So there are more heavy rain events, and on the days we get heavy rain, they produce more rain on those days. And in the urban footprint of Metro Detroit, that leads to some flooding issues. So we have all experienced the flooding over the last several years, decades even. So the 21 flood, the 14 flood are big ones that everyone's going to remember. But there's a lot of other flash flood events that have happened in Metro Detroit that those fingerprints of climate change are on.
And last night when we had with ServPro with us, Stephen Taylor from ServPro, he was talking about flooding is obviously the one that causes the most damage. And a lot of times people always look at, tornadoes and stuff as they cause the big damage and everything that everybody sees big pictures of, but flooding really is that hard hitter for cost.
It does, and water can just damage so many things, and it can really affect the entire area. You get a heavy rain flooding event like we saw in 21 or in 14, and it was much of Metro Detroit that was under the gun for those flooding events. It affects so many homeowners, so many businesses, and the costs unfortunately add up very quickly.
As the cities across Metro Detroit and the counties, have they done enough when you have severe weather, when you have a flood, and counties and homes and people lose their property, items in their house? Have these counties done enough to help, fix the issue, whether it's more drains, whether it's, a way to combat some of this?
Well, we're working with our emergency management partners to make them to help them understand the issues, and then they can work as a force multiplier to talk to all the county government. And I mean, it's a big undertaking. The infrastructure here in Detroit was built 100+ years ago. a lot of money is needed to deal with the climate of 2023 or the climate of 2100. And it's a slow iterative process. And so everyone's doing the best that they can to work towards that and to be able to handle the bigger water that comes with a thunderstorm and heavy rain events.
So when we see, obviously we're all tracking the different types of situations, the setup in the atmosphere, when we're getting to a day where we've got that severe weather potential and everything. Let's get right out into the setup so that people at home can know, you know, they get the alert on their weather radio or something like that other than just a siren. How is it in the Weather Service office that it's set up so that you see something hazardous happening? Walk us through step by step, getting that warning out to everybody.
Well, the first thing is we develop a plan at our office just like you should at home or a place of work, so that when the severe weather event happens on that day, we have extra staff that comes in and we know what we're going to do on that day with severe weather, whether it's severe thunderstorms or tornadoes. When the watch is issued, we review our plans, we set up for the day. And then when we're monitoring the storms, we're looking at what the environment is capable of doing, and we're constantly looking at surface observations, an analysis of what the atmosphere is doing. And a big part of that is the radar. And so we're diagnosing the radar. Once we make that decision to warn, we have software where you just take in a mouse to where the storm's at and moving that mouse and cursor location to where the storm was maybe 10 minutes ago, get a rough idea of where it's going to go, get the speed, direction, draw in a polygon where our warning is going to be in effect. Not always a full county border, but usually following some county borders along the way. We select what the warning is: tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning. What are some of the threats? Is it a 60-mile-an-hour wind or a 100-mile-an-hour wind? Or tornado threat, and then we hit the enter button to send it out to the world. Our goal is from once the forecaster decides to issue a warning to when it's broadcasting over the air, whether it's this television station, on your cell phone through the wireless emergency alerts, or on NOAA weather radio, that decision to broadcast should be less than a minute.
Gotcha.
And the warning is out, and so people can take action.
So today I heard an emergency alert today, and obviously as a precaution. What should somebody do if you hear that siren and there is a tornado coming? What advice would you give to people that are watching tonight? What measures they should take to protect themselves?
So with the siren specifically, you're probably outdoors. They are outdoor warning sirens, and that siren is telling you to go inside and find out what's going on. Turn on the television and find out what's going on. Look at your phone, see if there's a wireless emergency alert, and just find out what's going on, because the siren's not giving you a lot of information. It's just giving you that heads up that you need
Something's going on.
You got to find out what's happening because your area is under risk.
So let's call it a tornado. Let's say there's a tornado coming. What advice would you give to our viewers to stay safe when they hear that siren and that alert?
So the rule of thumb is to get as low to the ground as you can. If you have a basement, go to your basement. If your home's unfortunately hit by the tornado, debris falls into your basement, so you want to get underneath your stairs or a really solid table. Yeah, I have an old computer table in my basement that's particle board. I'm not going there. I'm going underneath my stairs, and they'll protect me from falling debris. If there is not a basement available, you want to be on the lowest floor, and the rule is to put as many walls between you and the tornado as possible. If you can look outside a window, you only have one wall between you and the tornado, and that's not going to be protection. So closet, a bathroom, small hallway, and then you want to protect yourself from flying debris. What injures most people is the wood, metal, glass all swirling around. And so grabbing blankets, pillows, a mattress, grabbing a bicycle or motorcycle helmet during the watch phase so you can put it on during the warning will also help protect yourself from some head trauma.
And the common misconception is that these only happen if there's like a big field or anything like that. But I want to actually, we have some video from earlier today, and this is today, by the way, that a tornado touched down just outside of downtown Los Angeles. So the Weather Service is obviously out there, their office doing the damage survey now, but the common misconception is that it really only happens in rural areas, but they can occur within cities, within forests. I mean, they can occur anywhere.
They sure can. If the conditions come right together with a severe thunderstorm and the rotating winds in the atmosphere, They can happen anywhere. The reason why there's the myth out there that it doesn't hit cities is there's far more open land in the United States, especially where tornadoes are more common in the Central Plains, than there are big cities. And so that's why that myth was born. But we have seen now with recorded history since 1950 that cities are under the gun just as much as rural areas.
And California's really been getting beat up. They had those snowstorms and everything else in Northern California, and then now we saw just that with the tornado there.
It's been a lot happening all at once. Thank you very much, by the way, Rich, for joining us here tonight, for continuing the conversation on Severe Weather Awareness Week. We're going to continue, obviously, to talk about this all week long.